So I don't know who Oscar Isaac is, and I don't know if I should. Oscar Isaac won't work with fascist Disney because of Jimmy Kimmel? Excuse me, what? I don't know if I'm reading this wrong, but is it like, are they on Jimmy Kimmel's side, or this person, Oscar Isaac, is this person on Jimmy Kimmel's side or against him? I don't understand. I guess that's really good clickbait.
Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And for some damn reason, we're going to talk about Disney's Star Wars.
Oh, he's on the side of Jimmy Kimmel. Of course, I should have known. Who is that? Oscar Isaac? I never heard of him. I'm also not a big fan of Star Wars. Well, new Star Wars. I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. Just like all of the old games, all of the old movies.
We're going to talk about
the Clone Wars. I love the Clone Wars animated show.
Oscar Isaac saying that he wasn't so open to working with Disney after the Jimmy Kimmel suspension, but if Disney doesn't become full fascists, he would be open to maybe coming back.
Fire him. Don't let him come back. Fuck him.
Yeah, so I think he's doing his press tour for Frankenstein, which I kind of want to see, by the way.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I want to see that. But in among the comments, yeah, he said...
I can tell you what I'm not watching. Anything new, probably.
That he'd be on board Disney as long as they don't succumb to fascism over the Jimmy Kimmel thing. Because they keep running with this narrative that it was fascism. And I'm trying to figure out how it was fascism. Because, you know...
It's fascism because the media says so. And people on social media parrot that opinion.
Said things they shouldn't have said. The advertisers got mad and pulled.
Yes,
Disney
the advertisers got mad.
Disney panicked and they pulled, suspended it temporarily. They didn't cancel it completely. And I mean, we said at the time that we thought Disney's reaction was an overreaction. So, you know, the advertisers were the ones who pulled, and the people that carried the network were the ones that pulled initially. And then Disney's response, because anything money or bad PR is like kryptonite.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, they then suspended the show temporarily, and everybody was mad about it, and they all were
dude, like, fuck them. I don't know what else to say.
demanding to turn it back on. And I mean, at the time, we even said, you know, what he said was shit, but, you know, Disney's reaction was an overreaction. And they turned it back on. But now there's this narrative that it's because Disney sided with fascists.
I think we need to go back to, if celebrities are being political, they get shamed everywhere in every space. And basically, let's gray list them. Don't get political. Stay in your lane, bro.
Because they have the FCC license. And I'm like, look, you know, what they said.
Like, you don't know anything. You know how to act in movies.
He said
Stick
was
to
shit.
that.
And his apology was dog shit. But, you know, they turned it back on. It's been resolved. And then now.
Basically, all I hear from these people is like, I'm very angry at things. Listen to me because I'm better than everybody else. That's why I'm in the position that I'm in.
Now he's still going on that I'll come back to Disney, but only if they promise basically never to do that again. And it's
oh my God.
And I think Disney was looking for an excuse to get rid of Kimmel anyway.
Yeah, that's the theory. People are like, you know, his ratings aren't great. He costs a lot, and late night TV is winding down. It definitely is. But let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Yeah, woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
You still have a little bit of time yet if you want to back Geeky's Kickstarter. We're going to close it out here once we basically run out of pins. So if you got to Kickstarter and back Geeky Sparkles, Christmas Party Glitter Retro Enamel pins, you know, we're going to leave that open for a little bit yet. I know some people wanted to add to their campaign, but as I understand it with Kickstarter, once the campaign closes out, you can't do that anymore. So we've had some people write us. We'll see if we can figure another solution out if we want that geeky pin. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So this is coming from Variety. Oscar Isaac was not so open to working with Disney after Jimmy Kimmel's suspension, said he'd return to Star Wars if Disney does not succumb to fascism.
Gosh, I wish these people would learn the definition of fascism.
Why would they? Yeah, I know, right? This is just like so... I don't even understand why they're still entertaining the idea of going back to the sequel trilogy when it's obvious that is what destroyed Star Wars.
Why do they keep trying? Why do they keep making Star Wars stuff? It's obviously not really working, and the longer it goes on, the worse it's going to get, because they just keep releasing trash after trash after trash. And sure, some of it makes money, and sure, some of it's not trash, but when you look at the grand scope of the IP, of all of the lore and everything, it's just completely fucking shattered.
They actually said they were going to bring him back for anything. I think he just asked.
To the point where there's actually a thing in the Star Wars community that's like before Disney acquired Star Wars and after Disney acquired Star Wars.
Basically, you know, would you come back? And he says no.
So,
well, he said
by the way, you should join my Patreon because I'm making something similar to Star Wars and Star Trek and all of that kind of Borderlandsy, my own lore. I'm building a whole world, and if you want to see all of the pieces as they get released, you know, before I do a full release of the entire project, you should definitely join the Patreon because that's where I'm posting everything that I'm doing involving that.
Yes, he'd be open as long as they didn't have fascism.
Yeah, like, look, I like Oscar Isaac as an actor, but like so many people in Hollywood, I
don't know who he is. Never heard of him.
I like to watch their performances. I don't like to watch them be performative. In these interviews and you know, do all the politics and get the fist bumps and the whole.
According to these people, and like literally anybody right or far left is a fascist.
Yeah.
So I mean, what does even when I say what does it mean? I mean, what does it even mean anymore? Because basically anybody who doesn't agree with me is a fascist or Hitler or something stupid. So it's not even they're not even using the true meanings of the words anymore.
Yeah, it's no.
That's because they're lying and they're pretending they have any idea what's going on, but really they're just pushing the corporate talking points.
They don't know. It's basically, I don't like your politics, therefore you're a Nazi. And this has been going on for at least 10 years now. And it's gotten so much worse since Trump came back. Actually, I was pleasantly surprised when he first got reelected that they weren't all losing their shit except for Mark Hamill. Maybe it's just a Star Wars thing, right? But they weren't all losing their shit. And then like within a couple of months, I think once the shock wore off, oh my God, he's back. How? Somehow Trump has returned.
Yes, here they come.
Back in the day, back when I was a kid, the news media and the Hollywood media were not as well connected. And I was always seeing the news media constantly shitting on the Hollywood media and like shitting all over celebrities. And it just doesn't happen anymore because the news media got too big. And Hollywood media got too big, got international. It really all started happening whenever everybody was making movies for China. But anyway, it's like some kind of force took over. Probably Satan.
Somehow Trump has returned. And then now then they got Blue Sky and they're just like letting it all hang out, right? But yeah, so he told Variety in August before the world premiere of Frankenstein at the Venice Film Festival he was more than open to returning as Poe Dameron in a Star Wars movie. Well, they have the Rey movie coming up, which I still don't understand why.
I don't even know if they're going to do it. Every time I turn around, it's like getting pushed back or something else. I'll believe it when I see it kind of situation.
But returning to the Disney-owned franchise got a little more complicated for Isaac just a few weeks later when Disney-owned ABC pulled Jimmy Kimmel off the air over comments he made about the shooting death of Charlie Kirk. Again, you need to clarify the reason they did that was that the advertisers and the stations basically canceled Jimmy Kimmel and Disney capitulated to that. But if the advertisers hadn't threatened...
The FCC. And it's like, well, I guess the guy did make some comments about the FCC should investigate it. But nothing ever came of it. They never, the station said they never got a call from them. They never got any kind of, any communication from the FCC at all. They chose it on their own.
In a new interview, yeah, I know, right? A new interview with GQ magazine. Of course, it's GQ. This is
I want more of this energy. I want more of these freaks to not be working for people like Disney. I want normal shit again. Like I want the pre-Wreck-It Ralph Disney back.
Same GQ that interviewed Sydney Sweeney and tried to get her to.
I loved Disney around the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody time. That was like peak Disney.
Her Nazism over that stupid jeans ad that they made into a big ass deal, which wasn't a big ass deal. That's what you need to have, big ass jeans. Big girls and big ass jeans.
Yeah. Wait. Say that whole thing again. That's why I need to have
no. They
well,
need
you're
to
right.
they need to have big ass brand jeans, big ass with like little dollar signs, like glitter, like My ass is big. Deal with it. And then that's,
I
you
want
can do a
mine to be
whole
like Big
marketing
Bunny.
campaign.
I don't know what the fuck they're talking about right now.
I want mine to be like Big Bunny jeans or something like that.
Big bunny jeans?
Yes, 'cause I like bunnies and their little
Big
cheeks look like
bootay.
butt cheeks, and it's like the Playboy bunny, but for fat women. So, no, I just like bunnies.
Chubby
Anyway.
bunny. Wasn't that a challenge with the kids eating the marshmallows or something? The chubby bunny
I have
challenge?
no idea.
Yes.
Chubby
yes,
bunnies.
it was.
There you go.
This
Some
is
people.
neither here nor there. So let's just talk about what we need to talk about.
All right. In a new interview with GQ, Isaac was asked about returning to Star Wars and had this new clarification to add. Yeah, I mean, I'd be open to it, although right now I'm not so open to working with Disney.
And you shouldn't be. Fuck Disney.
But if they can figure it out and, not succumb to fascism, that'd be great. If that happens, then yeah, I'd be open to having a conversation about a galaxy far away or any number of other things. As long as they're not fascists, I'm like, well, it's going to be really interesting to see what some of these people do.
By him saying that he wants them to stop being fascists, he means stop having the opposite politics, stop being on the side of the people who are with Trump, or just like America. They don't have to be with Trump. They just have to be pro-America. But he's actually, what he wants is real fascism. It's a lie. It's propaganda.
Or say once that Disney park opens in Dubai, because they're flipping out about the Saudis buying into video game companies. Now there's talk that the Saudis might buy into Warner Brothers, and that
they keep driving people to Israel and Saudi Arabia by being completely against those things. And you're turning Saudi Arabia and Israel into the counterculture. What the fuck are you doing?
there's like a $70 billion all cash offer on the table for Warner Brothers. And suddenly Tim Drake will be straight again.
Yes, I know, right? But, it's just funny to me because it's like there's been actual instances. You see, if Disney's fascist, and so are a bunch of places in Hollywood that have done similar things on the opposite side, but it never works in reverse. It only works one way. But this is really stupid. You're out there doing a press tour for Frankenstein, and you just basically said anybody.
Yeah, they can't help themselves. These freaks can't help themselves but to be political and talk about things they know nothing about.
Who thought that, it was right to cancel Jimmy Kimmel for saying something stupid as a fascist. That's basically what you just said. It probably would be best not to open your mouth. I don't know. These people just don't think.
Well, it's probably, again, it's GQ, so they're probably like, well, I'm reading the room, and GQ wants to hear all the anti-Trump stuff. So I'm going to signal.
Exactly.
And it's not going to go well because I guarantee you there are people in Hollywood right now that are taking note.
These people, they're all about being in the vibes of one another, which is basically just a fucking cult. But they will spout the same bullshit and they will get worse. They will go in circles and circles and circles and just get worse about it and say the most nonsensical bullshit.
Notes about, we're going to talk later about Paramount and what's going on with the animation. And I guarantee you, if he thinks he can jump from like Disney to Paramount and be like, yeah, as long as they're not fascist, well, the Ellisons who run Paramount are now Trump's besties. So it's going to get harder and harder.
These companies need to be careful, man, because if they don't stop and if they don't turn around and just get normal again, they're going to get replaced.
For a lot of these people find
I've already replaced them.
Anybody who doesn't align with them politically
Yes.
the entire way to the extreme that they think they should be aligned with is a fascist, according to these people.
Or you could do what people have done for decades, where you basically do your job, get your paycheck, and then on your personal time, you can go out there and do an activism if you want to.
I know, but this is really dumb. Like you're doing a press tour and for a movie that you just now wouldn't shot your mouth off.
You've just made it political. You've just made it political. Yeah. So, they're talking about in his September 15th monologue, shortly after Kirk's suspected killer was arrested, Kimmel quipped, "We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang trying to characterize this kid who killed Kirk as anything other than one of them." The line got the late night host suspended. Wasn't.
I think that was probably part of it, but I don't think that was the whole pie.
Okay, that's an oversimplification. Again, Anybody who actually looks into it, the media keeps running with it like, well, Disney just decided to push the button.
Well, nobody wants to look into it. Everybody just wants to see what everybody else that they like or everybody they agree with is saying online, and they're just going to say that.
And cancel. No, what happened was the advertisers and the station owners complained, and they put the pressure on Disney, and then Disney, suspended him because they're like, we don't know what else to do.
And the only reason they unsuspended
They've got top of the mind info on it. They've got info that just exists at their face, at face level, and that's it. And then they're just gonna spout that. They don't understand things at a deep level. They say things without knowing anything about it and pretend they know. I see it all the time. I try and not argue with people in comments and replies. I try and just like show actual facts, but people just deny facts. And then whenever they post fake facts and I tell them that their facts are skewed or manipulated and I show them how, they just think that I'm the one that's skirting the facts. And it's just like, okay, you are finding the information right now as we're talking. I've been finding all this information and compiling it for years. Good luck.
him was because Hollywood was having a shit fit. And people were,
Yeah.
you know, I don't think people were canceling their subscriptions in enough numbers to warrant that. But I think they were conflating the canceling of the announcement of price hikes, which was going on around the same time, as the reason. But either way, it's just that they were strong armed into hiring back. I think they were just looking for a reason, and that gave them one.
Yeah.
And then they had to walk it back. That's my opinion.
Well, what's funny though is he's talking about. I remember this. I remember this a couple of years ago. He basically said the only way he'd return to Star Wars is if he needed another house or something. But he's not wrong. So I guess Moon Knight's off the table then too, right? We're not doing any more Moon Knight.
Well, I don't know. At this point in time, I wouldn't work with him. He's going to be a problem.
Yeah. But yeah, he said he would go back to Star Wars. This is in 2020. He'd go back to Star Wars if he needed another house. Isaac admitted to GQ perhaps he should not have made such an opinion.
Dude, this is why these people are fucking hated, man. That is such a shitty thing to say. If I need another house or something, that is so disconnected from reality. That is so disconnected from the actual fan base. I think that if you're going to be a part of something like a big IP like this, you need to be an actual fan. I think there should be tests for these IPs, for these giant IPs, by law.
Public explaining, yeah, that was a real likable quote. You know, people ask you things, you say stuff, you don't really think about it that much. I said a slightly dickish thing.
Oh, wait. No, I think that was very dickish, personally, because it's like, maybe if I need another house. That's kind of really douchey, dude. Slightly dickish.
I am very surprised that he actually got the role of Moon Knight, given that, you know, he's making that comment, because it's basically like, I don't give a shit about this movie, but if I need another paycheck. I mean, look, Harrison Ford, same situation with Star Wars, right? He hates Star Wars. He said multiple times he hates.
Yep, fuck them all. If you don't like the thing that you're a part of, get lost.
Star Wars. I'm sure the paycheck was pretty damn fat to get him to come back, and they promised him they'd kill off Han Solo. Spoiler: they kill off Han Solo.
Imagine a regular person, who loves Star Wars, and like somebody having this attitude in your favorite thing. Like, come on, man.
But, you know, they could always bring him.
In every single corporate, like, company, corporate media entertainment thing, like Halo, with Halo, it's the same way. There are people involved in it who don't like Halo. They're just there. In every single corporate company, you always got people like this, just dragging everything down, and they're being pushed up to the top as, like, I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Just a bunch of corporate bullshit. It ruins everything. Whenever you get too big and it gets corporatized, this is what happens.
Back or something. Bring
people just in it for the money. Well, guess what? The money dries up if your heart ain't in it.
I don't know. I'm just like, obviously they didn't care about the fans on that one, but it was a slightly. I love it when. Okay, so you just got done saying anybody who thought that what Jimmy Kimmel said was wrong is a fascist, and then you're saying about the comment about the house was a slightly dickish thing.
Slightly dickish. Yeah, that was a dickish thing, but you know, but look, these actors, this is the thing. Back in the day, there used to be handlers at the studios that would make sure that their stars, since their stars were company assets, basically, that their stars would kind of be on a tight leash and they wouldn't say anything stupid when they go on, you know, the press.
Now they just get a whole bunch of pandering yes men.
Right? They were coached on, and it was restrictive, but there's a reason why they did that.
They knew that people don't need to know about their personal opinions or politics or things like that. They knew that. Now that's all they want to talk about.
I mean, could you imagine Cary Grant?
That's all that there is on social media, so I could get it. They want to get in on it because everybody's talking about it, right? Everybody hates it. Nobody likes that anybody's talking about politics.
Thinks you're a Nazi.
Yeah.
Betty Davis thinks you're a chud. I mean,
Oh, that's funny. She's
like,
looking
you
at you. Those
basement
eyes.
dwelling neckbeards. It's like, I mean, at least some of the actors, like, I mean, they were very blunt about what they thought about people that, Orson Welles, I think, was very blunt, but like, these people didn't get work. If you were difficult and you attacked the customer, you didn't get work for years. They're like, yeah, we can't let you
If
off
you
the
attack the
leash.
company too, hell no.
You attacked the company. Yeah, they had studio fixers. They were like, again, Hail Caesar, damn good movie. Watch it, highly recommend it. But they had guys that basically would keep these stars in line because they're like, yeah, if you cause a scene or you have a scandal or something, you're going to cost us money. And that was back then. And now it's even worse, right? I mean, it's like you can say one thing and you can just hear the money being bled out of the bank account. Like, shit.
Yeah, because people are tired of it. People are getting even more tired now than ever of politics being in the media. And it's getting worse. It's going to get to the point where there's going to have to be absolutely no politics at all. Used to old movies and stuff, they would like kind of hint at the fact that there was politics going on in the real world, but they would never really touch upon it. Sometimes they definitely would. But I think that's going to be lost going in the future because nobody wants to. Movies and games and shows and books, that's all supposed to be escapism, man. People don't want to read reality. People don't want to play reality that they're already living and to be reminded that everything sucks.
They just called everybody Nazis. There goes half our money this weekend.
Good. You don't need it anyway. Fuck you. I can't wait until all these corporate companies collapse or turn around.